USIU Africa's Library Week 2014. As I've been mentioning, the theme is Join the Dots and making your library experience much easier. So let's get this show started. For starters, I'd like to invite the library staff to lead us with the USIU alma mater. So ladies and gentlemen, could you please stand up? So right now, I would like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Ogola to come give us the welcoming remarks for today's ceremony. Round of applause for her, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, MC. Now, we are here with Professor Buyu, Professor Iraki, library staff and students. Good afternoon. Now, this is the first ever Library Week that has been held here at USIU. I've just been told it has never happened. So what it means is that we are making history. And since we are making history, just try as much as possible to make sure that your photo appears somewhere, because it's going to be in the records of the USIU. Now, when we started preparing for this event, I wasn't too sure about how it was going to turn out. Because most times, I see people coming to the library, they take photos outside here, and then they go away. They don't really come inside the library to see what is inside. And I'm a bit embarrassed when I say one lecturer actually commented that what the library has is shrouded in mystery. Now, we decided that if the library, what is inside the library is all a big mystery, then we need to get out here for the library to be very visible, both inside and the outside. And as an undergraduate student, when I was in KU, I thought it's not really important for me to be in the library. But fast forward to maybe a year after I graduated, I started working in a library. So it was important for me to learn what was going on. And then fast forward, I was now doing my postgraduate studies. And I really knew nothing about the library and found that it is important for you to learn how to research, how to search, because the skills you learn now are going to be with you forever. I mean, you might need it, maybe you get a job as a journalist, you will have to do some research. If you decide you're going to go into business, you'll have to check the market trends. You might also have to research on the competition so that you can compete favorably in the market. So the research skills you learn now are very important. Please don't take them for granted. And that is why we decided to come out here and maybe just tell you a little bit more about what goes on inside. And also, the people who work in the library, they're just like shadows. You know, you don't even think about the services that are being offered. Most of them are at the back there. Those are the library staff. And if you participate in this event, I'm sure you will get to know all of them. There are some who work in the background who never really get to meet the users. But whatever they do is really important for the library. Now, there's also somebody who once said that communities are judged by the state of their libraries. And I was just thinking, if the USIU were to be judged by the library here, we would get 10 out of 10. But then if we look at a scenario where we are being judged by the usage statistics, how many people use the library? How many people use the e-resources? Most of you probably just come for your course texts at the beginning of the semester. You collect them, then you're not seen again until the end of the semester when you come and return the books. Now you are the people we are targeting because we have friends of the library. These are people who are always with us in the library. They use the resources, they're always consulting us. And these are the people we will want to honor on Thursday when we have the awards for the library. Those are friends of the library. But our target are those who just come once, stay away, and come back again at the end of the semester. On Thursday, we will have tea with the librarian. And for that event, it will be outside the library lobby. You're all invited. That is when we will have the award ceremony. It will start at 11 o'clock. And this event would not have been possible if we had not got some sponsors. We were sponsored by the International Network for the Availability of Scientific Publications, that is INASP. And then we were also sponsored by Falcon Books East Africa, and the USIU also contributed something towards this event. And there's a team of both library staff and students who have worked tirelessly to make this event a success. We might not be so many now, but I believe there are those who are going to participate tomorrow and the day after that. Now we are also organizing library tours. I expect all of you, or those who are not here at least, to come to our library tours. I know I was given 5 minutes. I looked at the program. I was only supposed to welcome you. And I agreed with the organizers. But I knew I was going to take a little bit more than 5 minutes. So maybe now I can welcome Professor Buyu, who will talk on behalf of the Vice Chancellor who could not be here today. Professor Buyu is our Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, and he is a friend of the library. So welcome, Professor Buyu.
Thank you, Dr. Ogola, and I'm glad to see you all. I just want to start by underlining the obvious. And the obvious is the library is the most important resource in any learning or research institution. Don't quote me on originality in that. It is underlining the obvious. But it bears repeating several times because we have the best library in Eastern and Central Africa, and I'm ready to defend it under any circumstances. We have come a long way with this library. How many of you know how old it is? The library was opened in 2007 by His Excellency the President, the then President of Kenya, His Excellency Mwai Kibaki. And it is good news because it reminds me of what we asked the President when he visited us. We said Thika Road is terrible, the jams, the potholes, narrow, the overspeeding and the lot. And the President said, we will see, we will look into it. I have heard, I'm taking word to my government. But within 2.5 years, the work started, and we had Thika Road, we have the library now. But you must have wondered where we were before we came to this library. Our original library was at the Lillian Bean building. That was a time when our student population was just 1,000. Then we grew rapidly between 98 and 2003, and we soon became more than 2,000. And the library was too small to serve our needs. So we started building this one, and credit to the university, we didn't use bank loan or a lot of money from outside. This library cost half a billion shillings then, and the aid we received was from USAID in the tune of 57 million shillings. But having put the library up, Dr. Gola did not remind you that we have been declared the best library. I don't know how many times, 3 times in this part of the world. How many? Oh, my glasses don't see very well. She said 3. 3 times, and that is a commendable achievement. But today, as she said, we are here to remind ourselves about the importance of the library, to draw attention to the resources in this library, wonderful resources, and simply to celebrate how well our librarian staff have worked to maintain the quality in this library, and on behalf of the Vice Chancellor and the university, I would like to thank them. But I would also like to urge the students especially to make full use of the wonderful resources we have here. I need not remind you that in the university, only 40% when you are an undergraduate comes from the lecturer in terms of your knowledge. 60% is yours. And when you go to the doctoral program, then less than 20% comes from the lecturer. The rest comes from your research. I would also like to remind you, and for those who don't know, to tell you that there's been a turning strategic point. USIU has become a research university. We are trying to transition it into a research university, and without the library and proper use of the library, that cannot happen. Now, I don't want your cake to melt, but I must make mention of the camels because they have reminded me that they are Kenyans who are so thirsty for knowledge but cannot reach the library, and therefore they have to use camels to transport books from one part of the county to another. This is a reality in the so-called northern frontier districts. The countries like Garissa, Wajir, you have mobile libraries on the camels. So when you see the camels here, treat them as classic beasts of conveyance, not only of salt and gold from West Africa, but of knowledge. I would like to call upon one of our top professors who has taught some of you to just mention the critical use of the library as the resource centerpiece in this university. He initiated USIU's online multidisciplinary publication, which is running and is internationally recognized. He goes to conferences, he writes books, he teaches, but above all, he uses the library. Professor Frederick Iraki.
So now, I'm supposed to introduce Professor Frederick Iraki, but I'm sorry, I don't think I can do a better introduction than Professor Buyu. So let me just call you on stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for inviting me to this great occasion. And I would just wish to share a few reflections with you. It's been said by Professor Buyu that indeed the library reflects the nerve center of a learning institution. And anybody visiting a university, first of all, wants to see the kind of books that you have, the kind of stocks that you have, the kind of access facilities that you have in your library, and that kind of helps in determining the quality of your institution. And at USIU, we're extremely proud of our library. Our staff are extremely friendly. They are excellent people. They have really helped me in my research since I joined this school. Any type of research you want to conduct as undergraduate student or a graduate student, or even for us professors, when we need help, we go straight to the library and we get excellent service. So for me, it's really to commend the library. Most people don't know what they do, but they do a wonderful job. And secondly, also to remind you that in the olden days, for example, knowledge was always hidden from other people, because people who controlled knowledge controlled politics. They controlled the people. And so today, when the library is opening up to all of us, people are running away from the library. Now that knowledge is available, people are running away from it. And this is quite ironical, because you cannot imagine for a second that our society can develop without knowledge. And knowledge, the best place to get this knowledge is our library. And ours is very well equipped. We have very modern collections. Our professors are encouraged all the time to help us build a credible and up-to-date stock of books. And so I can really advise you, if you are around USIU in our community, as a student or a staff member, please use our library because it's one of the best. The other thing I would like to say is when you're looking at employability in the country today and across the world, not many employers are interested in what you learned at the university. This is quite strange. Not many of them want to know how much you can do accounts or how much you can speak French. Most of them are looking for what we call the soft skills, the non-cognitive skills that normally the teacher in the classroom will not teach you. Fortunately, you can yourself prepare yourself for the job market by using our library to get skills that we don't give you in the classroom. We may focus too much on academic or cognitive skills, and yet the employer is looking for people who have soft skills like organizational skills, timekeeping skills, teamwork, creativity, innovation, people who have teamwork ability. And those are things at times we are challenged to do in our current state of universities. So we really want you to use the library to complement what we give you in the classroom. This will make you very, very competent people, people who are in demand in the job market, people who are in demand in our society to help us build a beautiful Kenya. The other thing is about mobile learning. It's good to have a library here, but more importantly, you should know that our library actually reaches out to you also through electronic means. The library talks to you through your computer. We try to also communicate with you through SMSs. And this is a way to ensure that wherever you are, you can check what is in our library. You can talk to the librarian, ask for a book. You can ask for advice. Don't hesitate. You might think they are not academic, but they are. Anytime I have a topic to research on, I send a request to the librarian and I get books. I would have taken hours trying to figure out the kind of books I need. But the librarian would pick out the books you need in a second, and within no time, my research goes on very well, and I really, really am grateful to this library for making me a professor. It's thanks to this building here, you see, the books inside, that I've been able to do my work, even to create my own journal. I was trained through this library, something they call INASP. They train professors on how they can create books for, or journals for our students. And we have a journal here at USIU that is known all over the world. It's called the Journal of Language, Technology and Entrepreneurship in Africa. And in this journal, we encourage you students to come to us with your articles. We'll help you panel beat them into publishable papers. Even professors publishing them. People from all over Africa are publishing in the journal. And so we encourage you to use our library. Come, we work together, we help you in research, and we help you publish. And this will make you wonderful people, successful in wherever you're going to work. Those of you who will join us in the academy to teach with us, we welcome you. But really, I'm delighted today to be here to talk about the Library Week, because to me, it should be the most important event in this university. And thank you so much for inviting me, Daktari. And with those few remarks, I think I'll stop there.
Now, I would like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. Gola and Professor Buyu to lead the library staff in cutting of the cake. Because I know this is the part that we've all been waiting for, is it? Am I right? Yes. I see. So please come and cut the cake for us.
Those people who have been supporting us over the years, you will see the people who maybe come into the library all the time, they are forever here. And it's not because we've told them to come. It's because they have that interest to read. And then we also have certain people who have given to the library. And these are like artists who have actually gone out of their way to give to us. But really what we wanted to do is to go out to the people, tell you that we are here. Don't take us for granted. Actually, this library is one of the best in the country. And the resources that we have here cannot be equaled. I was with a lady about 2 days ago. I was with her in college many, many years ago, I think before most of you were born. And I asked her what she was doing here. And she told me she did her master's here, but then she registered for a PhD in a different university. So she comes to use this library as an alumni. And she tried to use the library where she is registered at and found that they didn't have what she wanted. So in as much as we are not offering the program she's studying for, she can still get all her resources here. So just imagine, you have all this and we take it for granted. Because after all, it's going to be there. So please, I'm so happy to see this group. I know it's not only the tea that has brought you here. I know it's because you are friends of the library. Actually, I was not supposed to give a speech. I think after this, it's the trivia. Ongus, am I right?
Group, Deborah's group, question 1. How many rings are on the Olympic flag? How many rings are on the Olympic flag? If you can't answer, you say pass, then we proceed. You can pass it to the next group. Each one person in white? 5. Excellent. So there will be an award for you. Man in blue, I hope you're noting. Thank you. First James Bond book is Casino Royale. And I believe there is somebody to take your name. You've just earned yourself an award. Okay, it's a question for Naushad's group. If you had pogonophobia, what would you be afraid of? What would you be afraid of? You're still consulting? All right. You have 30 seconds. Death? Their answer is death. Do we have anybody with a contrary opinion on the crowd? Now, the answer is distorted, so nobody gets an award, but the correct answer is beard. Thank you. That brings the end to the trivial question, and if we go by the points, that group has 4 points, they've got 2 points, and they've got the other points that are left, yeah? So that group wins the trivial, and your awards will be sorted in that order. So you'll be announced. Thank you so much for participating in the trivial. A round of applause to the winning team.
you.